Hi, this is Mary Hedge, and this is my church field visit discussion post for this week. I visited a church in Granbury, Texas called Grace Bible Church. It's a non-denominational, biblically based church body here. I was able to meet with the pastor, the senior pastor, whose name is Terry Enns. I've known Terry for many years. My children attended the Awanas program that this church still provides to this day. And I've attended some classes and conferences there. However, I'm not a member, so I thought it'd be really fun to talk to them and find out more about who they are and what they do. We talked about what a healthy church looks like, and I asked Pastor Terry, what does a blessed church look like? Can you define that for me? And he said, a healthy church or a blessed church is one that's thriving and growing, that has biblically sound leadership. We talked about the essential practices of the church, and he said, after thinking about it for a little bit, that his church has a high priority, or a high view, of the scriptures. And so that permeates everything that they do, every decision that they make. He gave me some scriptural references, such as 2 Timothy 4, verse 2, and talking about preaching and being instant in season and out of season. And the scriptures are used to teach, to train, to rebuke, and to admonish. The other thing he talked about was the leadership, and he talked about how important it was that they had godly leadership and that they worked together and really honor God and think through things biblically. And talked about how he picked out leaders in the church body and went back to the scriptures in Titus and in Timothy. And we talked about vision, and we talked about how this church began. And the beginning of the church, it was born in a couple's home, and they had a heart to teach the Bible and to share the Bible and just to keep it simple. And they were from Dallas Theological Seminary, and they opened their doors in 1979. The vision currently is set by the eldership of the church. They work together and make decisions, and they meet together weekly to pray, and they also meet monthly and allow the congregation, if they would like to come to that monthly meeting, to share their thoughts and ideas, as well as to observe, and then they close the meeting for decisions and things that they need to discuss. They may be confidential or that they need to talk about. Unity is something that is big in their church, and if they are making decisions, the board needs to be unified 100%. If someone does not disagree, they'll table the issue and ask that person to search it out and pray and come back and explain to them scripturally why they need to move in that direction or make a change. So again, everything is based on the scriptures, every decision that they make. I asked Pastor Terry about shepherds and what is a shepherd, and he took me to Acts 6, verse 4, and he said that the shepherd of the church, or of the churches, is someone who gives himself to prayer continually and to ministry of the word. They have paid elders, and they have elders that are not paid. The ones that are paid, part of the reason for that is so they can spend time preparing and praying for the body and ministering to them, making sure that they're able to feed the sheep, as Pastor Robert has talked to us about so much in this course. He is the senior pastor, and he functions in the role of overseer of the men's ministry, the preacher there on Sundays, and then he also works with the worship team. The associate pastor works with teaching and counseling, and then he has some other elders that handle the women's ministry and the facilities and some other roles. Elders are a very important part of the church body, and they are chosen by observing, and they watch to see men in the body who are mentoring others, who have a shepherd's heart, who love people. And if they see someone that is they consider to be a good elder, they will approach them and ask them if that is something that they're interested in. If they are interested in that, there's a training program that takes place, and that takes about a year. So they train them and prepare them to lead the people, and then the church congregation will vote. And they have to vote them in with a 90% agreement. We talked about the culture and how they influence the people around them and believers. And they have a counseling program, and the counseling is offered free of charge, and they network with other churches as well to provide training so that they can give counseling to people that are looking for help with their marriages, finances, just different things. And so some of them don't know the gospel that come in for counseling, and this is a way that they're able to share the gospel with them. And they also offer classes and events in the community, and this is another outreach of theirs so that they can share the gospel, as well as missions to organizations locally and globally. That's a very big part of their ministry as well. We talked a little bit about the Holy Spirit, and I really enjoyed what Pastor Terry had to share because he concurred with what we're learning in class. The Holy Spirit is part of the Godhead. The Holy Spirit has a personality. He is a person, and he is just as important as the Father and the Son. So I really appreciated him sharing a little bit more with me about that. I think what I came away with is the fact that they're very prayerful, and they communicate with one another and spend time together, really praying and seeking the Lord and working together as a team. Their heart's desire is to please the Lord and honor him, and everything being done with that scriptural basis is so critical, and I think it makes for a church body that trains up its people and teaches and disciples them so that they can go out and make a difference in the world. Thank you so much for listening.